Howdo! Let's get this archtop put together, shall we? Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome to King Bespoke Creations. Now, it's about time we put this archtop together. We've got a front panel, we've got a back panel, we've got a middle section, and we've got the neck, and they all need to go together to glue up to make something that looks like a guitar. But there's a few things that need to be sorted out first. One of them is on the front panel, I want some F-holes put in. On my variation on an F-hole anyway. I found, very crumpled up, kicking about the workshop, the original design plan for this guitar. It's changed a little bit over the time, but the F-hole is a slightly different shape. So we've got the circle at the bottom, we've got the little kicky bit in the middle, but then going up to a point rather than another circle. Now I'm sure the purists out there will be screaming at me, telling me how essential that top circle is, and it might well be, but it's just there for the look. This is going to have some pickups in there, so the acoustic value of this guitar isn't going to be violin quality to begin with. This is my very first attempt at an archtop guitar, so I'm going to go something that looks a little bit nice, that allows the sound to come out. So here's my first problem. This is very grainy material. Now what I mean by that is it's pine. So there's black stripes, there's light stripes, and when I cut an F-hole out of here, I'm expecting sections to chip off, okay? And I've been wondering and putting this off for a long time, figuring out how on earth to get around this problem. Then YouTube introduced me to Tommy Hovington. Now, this guy is a genius. He makes original spec mandolins, mandocellos, classic guitars, completely handmade with tools. He's one of my new favourite guys to watch on YouTube. And he does a little trick on the back, which some of you might go, oh! And I thought, oh! And then I went, that's genius! So here is the inside of the front panel. So I'm going to mark off where the F-holes go on the inside first. So I've cut out a clean, fresh version of my design of F-hole, with this as the centre line point that should sit just on that edge there, running up in a straight line, so I can then tuck that into that corner, something like that. Now I'm just going to draw around that to mark off on the inside where I want that to be. Et voila. Okay, so how are we going to cut that out without sections like this horn here? It's almost like a fin on this corner. I can fully imagine that splitting off along those grain lines, and even sections like this bit here would have areas that would very, very easily chip off. And this is Tommy's little tip. Tubular bandage. Now at first I thought, you can't go doing anything with that surely, but this is how it's going to work. We take a section of this, cut it down, and using wood glue, glue it onto the back of that section there. So we glue it on, put some more glue over the top of it, and at first I thought surely that's going to change the sound of everything, which I'm sure it does, but the genius tells me that it's perfectly legitimate and lots of people do it, so well, let's give it a go, shall we? Right, so while that's drying, I'm then going to glue on the walls, which have already split into two parts. So we're going to glue those onto the sides there. Now, there's a little extra special something that's going to happen to this area of the wall that you're going to have to see in another part, but let me show you what I'm going to do in the meantime. So the walls are going to get glued around the edge to create the big hole in the middle, and then the backboard gets put onto there. But there's a small section here that I don't want glued in, and this is to do with pickups and controls and things like that. So what I'm going to do for now, because these aren't final fit finish, is I'm going to just put a tiny little bit of cling film at just the right width across here to prevent the wall gluing to here, because it's going to get cut off later on. I'm using cling film because it's the thinnest plastic I can find, so it's not going to create any gap. If I use a big plastic sheet, it's going to create a gap on the sides. The cling film isn't going to do that. So I'm just going to trim that off at the right width. So as long as that sits flat on there now, I can put glue all the way around the edges up to that point and continue around and put those sides on. Just checking all the way around that I've got an overlap on here, which I do. Huzzah! Well, now that's all dry, we can redraw our F holes, although it's not technically speaking an F shape, is it? Should we even give it a letter? A J hole? No. Answers on a postcard. Anywho, now this only needs to be rough, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out from this side rather than from the face side. I put a hole in the guitar! I'm so scared. Not the prettiest cut straight off the bat, but that's why we don't cut straight up to the lines. Time to glue on a neck. Good morning. Time to take the clamps off and have a look. Radiusing sanding block is a perfect call, by the way. Well, there we are. It's in. Now the next job before gluing the back on is to cut out this section here. My intention is to have 2 volume pots, and I'm going to make some roller wheels that I can attach on instead of the normal tone pot, that they're going to poke out from the side of the guitar along here. So I'm going to have 2 rotating wheels on the side that you're just going to be able to brush around with your finger. So I need to cut this section off. Wiring up will be a different day, but for now that needs cutting off so that we can glue the back on. Well, that wasn't at all scary. Nah. So this section will have the pots attached to the back of it that I can slide in, screw into these sections that I've got clamped up at the minute, and then that can come on and off as an access point. However, I've just made a massive boo-boo because I didn't think about the fact that the F-holes are here. When this is all together, you're going to be able to see through there. Woo! And you're going to see the pots on the other side, which is a bit of a bummer, but that's going to have to be a fix for another day. Right, time to glue the back on. Dun, dun, dun. So I've got my clamps ready. I've got some non-slip matting to go underneath the clamps. Because of the slopes on these and the fact that it's nice and smooth, the clamps at the minute just want to slide off, and they even have rubber grips on them already. So this is just going to help them to grip properly while we clamp it down. Right, let's go. Added in another couple of G clamps, very lightly, doesn't need a lot of pressure at all, but just to make sure we've closed those spaces up. And there we go. Right, so this has been under clamp for 5 or 6 hours, which is more than long enough. So we'll just loosely take these things off now. And it's not bust anything. Hoorah! Well, how about that? That that just makes me happy. I remember I built a snare drum once out of some oak veneers, and one of the happiest things ever was taking it out of the mould and giving it a bash and it making a nice noise like that. Right, there we go. That looks like a bit of a guitar, doesn't it? I like that. It's lovely. I think I've probably got 2 more videos to finish this off. So one of the big ones is to do some carving. So I'm going to try and carve a rose on the back of this heel here, and then round the edges of this, I haven't made my mind up yet whether I'm going to carve a rose stem with leaves on, or whether I might go all smooth and do that as pyrography. What do you think? Leave me a comment down below. Which one do you think I should do? Should I do a pyrography around there, or carve the roses, carve the rose stem in there? That's definitely going to be carved up top here. the other one that needs to be doing, the other video, is then wiring it all up. So I'm going to have to put a humbucker on the front, it's getting piezos under the bridge, and then it's going to have 2 volume controls like we discussed earlier, just on little rollers here, so that I can turn those on and off and kind of blend between the 2 different sounds. Wow, I'm really excited. And it's not even a great guitar build off yet. How awesome is that? Make sure you click the subscribe button, because it's just going to go awesome from here on in. Ring that little notification bell thingamajig, click the like button for me, leave a couple of comments, and I'll love you forever. Until then, sharpen your tools and I'll see you soon. God bless.